So these are the 9 tips for sellers. To start with, I think you really need to know why you're selling, which I know sounds silly, but you need to really dig in because it's a big decision and life decisions can take between 2 and 5 years. You really need to understand why it is you're selling.
Another one's getting about the time you sell, isn't it? It's all about time. When do you want to go? Is it one of those ones that you want to go in 5 years, 6 years, 6 months? Time yourself. Try and, if you can, if you've got the opportunity, plan it and time it so that it's to your benefit.
Yeah. Another important tip for sellers is actually understanding which type of buyers are out there. I mean, if you're in a partnership, you might actually have a legal obligation to offer it to your partner. But you may have a partner, there may be associates, there may be corporate buyers out there, there'll be independent dentists interested in your practice. There's a whole broad church of people who will be interested in your practice.
One thing I think that we always say to people is, and I can't overemphasise it, is get your paperwork.
Yeah, totally.
Get a carrier bag, put it all in there, work out what you need to get. We give you a guide. Just start thinking about your paperwork.
Yeah.
So important.
Something else you should definitely explore is using a practice sales agent. At least explore whether you feel they can help you. They've got experience in this world. It's their world, it's their market. Whether you decide to use them or not, your choice, but you should definitely explore the value they can add to the transaction.
Definitely value.
Yeah.
Another one that I think people just don't get sometimes is get an independent valuation. Get a practice valuation that says how much your practice is worth, because that's going to be the basis for any transaction. You wouldn't sell your house and just make the number up, would you?
Another key element of a sale is actually finding potential buyers. And on the one hand, it seems pretty straightforward. We know there's lots of people wanting to buy a dental practice, but it's more about how you qualify and how you filter down prospective buyers. Who are the right buyers out there? So it's thinking about how you do that. Obviously, if you work with a practice sales agent, they can do that for you. And if not, really think critically about how you're going to find someone who's going to buy your practice.
Definitely. Another one is definitely due diligence. I talked about paperwork, and that being important. Due diligence is really just making sure you've got all your paperwork. It's so important. It's worthwhile mentioning it twice, isn't it?
It sure is.
Without the paperwork, you won't sell your practice. It's not like the good old days where it was a handshake and a bit of paper. There is so much that has to be done.
And the last point is just celebrating success. You've completed. And kind of go back to the beginning and remember why you went through this whole process, because what it should do is now free you up to move on to that next stage of the life. So it's so important for you. So completion, you've made it. You got to the end.